What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Redemption with Jaden, or welcome to Redemption with Jaden if this is the first time you're checking out my videos, because today I imagine there will be many of you who are here for the first time, because this is the tutorial video designed for newer players to kind of give a brief overview of the game and a rundown of the different card types in the game, and then I'm going to be playing a game with the I and J starter decks against my good friend Joel.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for joining me and playing the game with me here so that I can kind of give a little rundown. I've played a couple games with the starter decks with Joel and taught him a little bit how to play. But since he's a relatively newer player, I felt like it would be fitting for him to help me out with this tutorial and be ready to ask any questions on things that I forget to explain or don't explain very well, because I'm sure that there will be a few of those. And so yeah, let's just go and get into it. So Redemption started in 1995. It was designed by Rob Anderson as kind of an alternative to some of the more secular games. If there were families or parents that kind of wanted their younger kids to not play those other games, that Redemption was kind of a good alternative for that. But now it kind of it's maintained that, but it also has a pretty big competitive scene. And as you can see, still everything is kind of based on the Bible, and each of the cards has a little reference verse at the bottom here to kind of give you some context for the character, or kind of the theme of what's happening. Like this one is water to wine, which is recorded in John as Jesus' first miracle. So getting into the card types, the Lost Souls are kind of the most fundamental card type. You will have 7 of these in a 50 card deck, and then that kind of is proportional to the number of cards in your deck, which can in this category you can have up to 154, but usually people stick around the minimum of 50 because that gets you to your more powerful cards more quickly. And speaking of more powerful cards, the next card type I'm going to talk about are dominants. Son of God was the card I was kind of hovering over at the beginning here. It is the best card in the game because it just straight up allows you to rescue a lost soul, which I guess I didn't mention. The goal of the game is to rescue 5 of these lost souls. So Joel is going to have his lost souls out, and I'm going to try to rescue his, and vice versa. He's going to try to rescue my lost souls, and the first one to 5 wins. So the dominants kind of give you or allow you to either just straight up rescue a lost soul, like Son of God here does, or they can help you during battles or outside of battles, and you can play that or play them at any time based on like an action priority. So during Joel's turn, he can play dominance whenever he wants to. But if I wanted to play a dominant during Joel's turn, I would have to be like, "Hey Joel, can I play a dominant?" And he would either be like, "Yeah, sure," or be like, "Well, actually, I'm going to play a dominant first because he has the action priority." We'll get into the details about that later if we need to, but that's kind of the basics here. There are good dominants, which have this little lamb icon, and then evil dominants, which have this little Grim Reaper icon in the top left. The next card or card type I guess we're going to talk about are characters. So there are good characters, which are called heroes. They have this cross icon, and then there are evil characters, which are just called evil characters. There's no keyword for them other than that. They have this little dragon icon. So in each of these decks, there are going to be 2 colors on both the good side and the evil side. I have silver and purple in my deck, and Joel has gold and white on offense in his deck. There's 4 of the 9 good brigades currently in the game. And then on defense in my deck, I have black and brown brigades, and Joel has gray and orange brigades, which are 4 of the 7 evil brigades in the game. So the way that characters work is they're going to be the ones who are fighting the battles. So I'm going to use my heroes to try to rescue lost souls from Joel, and Joel is going to try to is going to use his evil characters to try to block my heroes. So they will during the battle phase, They will be in combat or whatever, um, and they'll be determined, I guess, by their numbers here. It'll determine who has initiative, who's winning the battle, and then in order to kind of power up your characters, you can use the last card type, which are enhancements. The good enhancements have a little Bible icon in the top left, and those can be used to power up your heroes. And they have to, as you can see, they also have a color there, so they have to match the character that you're playing them on. So this one is silver and purple, so it can be played on any of my purple heroes or any of my silver heroes, which are all the ones in this deck. And then these ones are multi-brigade, so they have all 9 brigades in them and can be played on any hero. But otherwise, some of the other ones are just single brigade and they have to match the hero. And the same goes for the defense. So I have black evil enhancements, which have this skull icon, and same with brown evil enhancements. And then in each deck there is also or I guess in this deck there's a multi-brigade evil enhancement, and Joel also has a orange and gray evil enhancement that he can use on any of his evil characters. I guess with the enhancements, I should also mention that there is a class on some of the cards. So cards that have a little oasis icon below the main icon are called territory class cards, and these can be played during battle normally, but they can also be played before the battle in your preparation phase, or after the battle in your discard phase. So they can help to interact with your opponent outside of just in battle. So if I wanted to play one like this, Wickedness of Delilah allows me to underdeck a hero. So I could play it in battle to try to underdeck the hero in battle, or I could just underdeck one of the heroes in Joel's territory that I don't want him to be able to use with attacks. So I can do that during my discard phase. Or my preparation phase. And then same with the good enhancements. So I guess like this one is a good territory class enhancement that I can use to try to fish some Lost Souls out of Joel's deck to make it easier for me to attempt to rescue one of them. So that's kind of a really quick overview. Feel free to kind of go back and listen to kind of each part to hear the types again if you need to, but you'll also be able to see them throughout the game. They'll be interacting and you'll see what each of them are used for. So and Joel will be here to ask any questions more or less on your behalf, because I am bound to not explain everything fully, because I've been playing the game for a while and just kind of go with the flow sometimes, or kind of get in the groove. So I'm going to put all the cards back into my deck here, and I'm going to go ahead and shuffle them up, and we'll go ahead and get started. As long as,
All right, sounds good.
You're ready here, Joel. All right.
Yeah, so I will shuffle my deck, make sure I'm all ready.
Cool. And then to start out the game, both of us draw 8 cards. So I drew my 8 here, and you can see that I drew 2 Lost Souls. So like I said before, the Lost Souls, they just go into play right away, and then I will draw cards to replace them. So I drew 2 other cards, and now I have 8 non-Lost Soul cards in my hand. It looks like, Joel, you also drew a Lost Soul, which is good.
I did. Yep, and I drew 1 to replace it.
Perfect. All right, so now we both have 8 non-Lost Soul cards, and this is where we determine who gets to go first. So this is based off the number of Lost Souls that are drawn. So I drew 2 Lost Souls, and Joel only drew 1, so I get to choose which of us goes first.
And if there was a tie, what do we do in that case?
So in a tie, we would just roll a die, or do some other random determination, flip a coin. So,
all right, sounds good.
Good question. I guess I will. I will choose to go first, I think. Yeah. So on the first turn, or very first turn, the player who goes first does not get to draw. But then starting with the second player, so starting on Joel's turn and then all the turns after that, you start your turn with your draw phase, which is drawing 3 cards. So my draw phase, I don't draw any this turn. And then I go to what's called my upkeep phase. My upkeep is just kind of where I kind of trigger some abilities if there are cards out that say each upkeep do such and such. But in these starter decks, there aren't any abilities like that, so you really don't have to worry about that if you're just starting out. So then I move to my preparation phase. Preparation phase is where I kind of get ready for battle, so I can put down characters if I want to. Characters can also come or go straight from your hand into battle, so you don't have to put them down. But in this case, I am going to put down my Gabriel because I want to play this territory class enhancement. As you can see, it has this Oasis icon, which means I can play it during my preparation phase. And because it is a multicolor good enhancement, I can play it on any hero. So I can play it on my silver hero, Gabriel. And so this one says each player must draw 1 or 2 if used by Andrew. So because it was not used by Andrew, it's used by Gabriel, both Joel and I get to draw 1.
All right.
So you're welcome.
And I drew a lost soul.
Oh, okay.
Good for you. So I will draw to replace it.
Yep. So Joel drew a lost soul, and he draws to replace it, even if it's something that I caused him to draw, or it's basically if you're drawing in any case. So now I'm going to, I think I'm ready to go to the battle phase. So in order to go to the battle phase, I just put my hero out from my territory into the field of battle, which I guess we'll kind of just arbitrarily decide is kind of in the middle here. And when I do that, I get to activate the ability on my hero. The hero abilities only activate in battle because they don't have that little territory class icon, so they're in battle abilities. So Gabriel allows me to search my discard pile for a silver enhancement. There is an enhancement in here, and because it is multicolor, it has silver in it. So that means that I can search for loaves and fishes, and then the default location for that is going to my hand. So loaves and fishes will go back to my hand, so I can use it again later. And now, because my hero ability has completed, Joel has the opportunity to block.
All right, I will block with the Mocking Soldiers, and I will underdeck a random card from your hand.
Okay, so I will go ahead and just shuffle my hand, and you can go look at the zone, or I guess I can just you can just pick one of the cards. I don't know if you can move them or not.
Looks like I can, so I just underdeck it.
Yeah. Yep. So because it's just
I will
random card.
Right click it and send to the bottom of your deck.
Yep.
All right.
All right. So what did you even hit? I don't even know. I forgot which card was in here. Something over here. But so Joel underdecked a card from my hand. And that is the completion of his evil character's ability, which also activates in battle, similar to the hero. And now what we do is we look at the numbers to determine who has initiative. So my Gabriel, you can see up here, is a 10-10, so he's a pretty beefy angel. And then Joel's evil character is a 6-4, which is kind of middle of the road. But you compare the strength, which is the first number, which in this case is 10 here, to the toughness, which is the second number of the opposing character. So Joel's character's toughness, Mocking Soldiers here, is a 4. So my 10 is beating his 4, and his strength, which is 6, is losing to my toughness, which is also 10. So that means that it would be Joel's regular initiative, but what I'm actually going to do is, because dominance can be played at any time, I can choose to play my Angel of the Lord because it's my turn, so I don't have to ask for initiative or anything. And before Joel has the opportunity to play an enhancement, I can do this to discard his evil character. So Mocking Soldiers is going to be discarded.
All right. Do I get any way to respond to that, or is dominant just go through by itself?
Yep, dominants always go through. There's no way to stop their abilities. They're inherently cannot be negated, which we'll talk about what negated means later on, I guess, in the battles, because it basically just stops the effect of something. But dominance cannot be negated, so your character will for sure be discarded.
All right.
And then once the dominant is played, it's kind of like a territory class enhancement or something like my Loves and Fishes that I played. It just goes to the discard. And so now I am not blocked in battle, and Joel only gets one opportunity to block. But we don't, or the battle doesn't end until both of us agree that the battle is over. So what Joel could do is if you have like an evil dominant or something that you want to play, that would remove my hero, you could do so. But otherwise, I will rescue the lost soul.
All right. Well, I don't have anything, so the battle will be over, and you will rescue a lost soul.
All right. So in this kind of the main category, type 1 is what it's called. There is no what's called rescuer's choice, so I don't get to choose which lost soul I rescue. Joel gets to choose whichever of his lost souls that I have access to, which is both of them right now. So you can choose to either give me the beggar one here, which is the one that when it's rescued each player must draw one, or you can give me this one, the Luke 15:13 lost soul, which doesn't have an ability on it.
All right. We'll give you the beggar lost soul, so we each draw one.
All right. So actually, now that I think about it, I think beggar is actually a different lost soul. Might not be the right name. But
We'll give you the Luke 15:6 lost soul.
that works. Yeah.
So I will send him to your land of redemption.
All right. Perfect.
And then we each draw one.
Yep, the lost soul is rescued, so we each draw one, and I drew a lost soul this time. So I get to draw one to replace it. And Gabriel will return to my territory. So because Gabriel successfully won the battle, or wasn't discarded or anything, he just returns to my territory after the battle. And now at the end of my turn, I have to make sure that I am down to 8 cards or fewer. And so because I started out with 8 and I did not draw for the beginning of my turn, and Joel also underdecked a card from my hand, and ended up with 7 cards in my hand. So I will just go ahead and pass the turn to you, Joel.
All right. So I will draw 3 to start. All right. So we will start by attacking with Elders of the City, and I do not have any cards in my... Oh, I do have one actually, but it is not a good Ruth card, so I will not search for a good Ruth card.
Okay, so yeah, Elders of the City. Like I said before, you don't have to have your characters in territory in order to come into battle. Just like my Gabriel was in territory, that's because I wanted to play an enhancement, but Joel now is just going straight into battle because there wasn't anything that he wanted to play beforehand, and he activates the ability, which is search your discard pile for a good Ruth card. We can go look at his discard pile, but it's just the Mocking Soldiers there, which is neither good nor from Ruth, just from Matthew, which is what the Ruth card is referring to, is the book of the Bible that it's from. So now I think a couple of options here. So this character, like I was sort of saying before, says negate enhancements, which allows me to stop the abilities on enhancements from working, but this goes for both his good enhancements and my evil ones. So because he's got big numbers, then the battle is, or this one would kind of make the numbers, or the battle be determined by the numbers. And my guy's kind of small, so I think I actually want to block with this evil character who is quite a bit bigger, and he also has an ability that kind of works pretty well in my advantage right now. So it says discard a hero in battle with strength 10 or greater. So remember, strength is the first number, but in this case, Elders of the City has strength and toughness of 10. So I'm going to try to discard your Elders of the City.
All right, so I have to play a negate card to stop that from happening.
Yep, so what this does is because I am removing Joel's last character from battle, he gets what's called special initiative to try to negate the ability that is removing his card from the battle. So what you would need is something that says negate an evil card, negate an evil character, or something like that.
All right, well, I do not have any of those, so I will discard Elders of the City.
All right, so yeah, because you didn't have anything to stop my Ishbibanob, then my Ishbibanob successfully discarded Elders of the City, and then because he was successful in battle, he comes back to my territory.
All right, so I will have to play and discard down to 8, correct? By
Yep.
the end of my turn?
Yep, so yep,
All right.
we were currently at 11 cards, so looks
Yeah,
like
so
down a few.
I will put Jephthah into my territory.
It's a good one.
Then, let's see. Then we will discard a persistent pestering.
All right.
And we will discard a Roman whip.
All right.
And then I will pass my turn.
So now I get to draw 3 cards to start my turn, and I drew 2 Lost Souls, so they both go into play, and I draw 2 cards to replace them. 1, 2. Okay, so let's see here. Now I go to my upkeep, which is nothing in preparation phase, is kind of where I will start to do some things here. What I'm going to start with is I can play this territory class enhancement. Because it's silver, it matches my Gabriel, so I can play it on him. And this allows me to look at an opponent's hand, and then I can search my deck for a silver card. So, Joel, I'm going to take a peek at what you got here.
All right.
Oh boy, lots of enhancements, huh?
Yep.
Well, I like to see that there are no evil characters, so that makes it pretty. It makes it easier for me to figure out how I'm going to attack because I don't have to worry about being blocked. He also has quite a few good enhancements here to back up his Jephthah, so I'm gonna have to be careful on my block. Just gonna hover over each of these. If you want to, you can pause and read them. But I'm sure you'll see them kind of as they come up as well. So we'll reveal to others none, and back here. So now that I've looked at his hand, I can search my deck for a silver card. So you can see why this one is more of a or is a territory class enhancement. It really kind of helps me set up for the battle. I can see, okay, what does Joel have to block, and then it allows me to get a card that I think would help me win the battle, or because now I know that Joel doesn't have any evil characters, I kind of want to look for something that gives me more of a benefit. So I'm actually going to search for my angelic news here, and then after you search your deck, you always shuffle unless there's a card that says not to shuffle. There are only a few of those, so it's going to be pretty rare. None in these decks, so you always shuffle after you search. And then because I searched for a card, the default location for it to go is in my hand, just like Loaves and Fishes did when I searched with Gabriel. But now I can go ahead and play another enhancement here. So I should mention there are there's no cost to playing cards in Redemption, so I can play as many enhancements or characters, resources as I have available. So because this one is territory class, again, I can play it on my Gabriel. It says draw 1 or 2 if used by Gabriel. So because it is played on Gabriel, I get to draw 2 cards. And then because the effect completed, it will be discarded. So now I've got all that in my discard pile, and I can go ahead and try to rescue the lost soul that Joel has there, which, since we saw his hand, should be pretty straightforward. But my hero ability activates when I go in, so again, I can search my discard pile for a silver enhancement. I think I'm going to go ahead and grab my angelic news again. Because there's no limit to the number of cards you can play during your turn, that does kind of promote card advantage in redemption quite a bit. I won't talk about strategy too much because this is supposed to just be a tutorial, so if you want strategy, go check out some of my other videos. But that's just kind of a little note there for now. So that is my rescue attempt, Joel.
All right. Well, as you saw, I don't have any evil characters, so you will rescue the lost soul, and it will go to your land of redemption.
All right, sounds good. So now I am at 2, and I've been able to stop Joel, so he hasn't rescued one yet, although we did see that he had his Son of God in his hand, so that would allow him to at least get to 1 at any point here, but might be saving it for a good opportunity here. So let's see, I am at 10 cards now, and I could play this one again, but it kind of makes me risk having to discard something or put more characters down. So it's a little bit tough. Well, I think I'm just going to hope I draw some characters that I can put down. So I'm just going to go ahead and play it on my Gabriel again, so I can draw 2 more. And ooh, that was a little bit of a whiff. Drew some more enhancements, but you can see that I drew a weapon enhancement, and because it is matching brigade to my evil character, and my evil character has this warrior class icon, and I can go ahead and equip it to my Ishbibinab with his Ishbibinab sword, so it kind of makes sense that he would be able to hold it and be equipped with it. And then when Ishbibinab enters the battle, his ability activates and the ability on the weapon also activates. So that can be beneficial, can kind of usually end up negating a hero that was that Joel came out with. So I'm also I think going to play my loaves and fishes, and I'm going to make each player draw 1 again. So
all right.
Hopefully here I can get Joel to draw a lost soul, or at least get closer to some of his lost souls. But looks like we did not get there.
Yep, unfortunately. For you, at least.
Yeah. Yep, that's kind of one of the things about the game, is that you do have to, if you draw a bunch of cards, like, I have been doing with my Angelic News, that also means that I'm going to have more lost souls out, and Joel hasn't been drawing as much, and so he's kind of hiding the lost souls, which is a decent strategy. So because I don't want to discard too much, I guess I'm just going to discard my Raising Lazarus, and then I do have this guy in my hand, but because of his Jephthah, I'm a little hesitant to put him down. So I'm going to discard my To Each His Own as well, which says each player may search his discard pile for an evil enhancement. So not a great one to discard, but because I don't have any evil enhancements in there right now, it's not really doing me anything. And so now I'm down to 8, and I'm going to go ahead and pass it to you, Joel.
All right. So I will draw 3. And no lost souls.
Uh-oh.
So we will move to combat and attack with Jephthah.
Alright, so with Jephthah, says once per game you may discard the top card of your deck to discard up to 2 evil characters. So would you like to discard the top card of your deck?
I am going to choose not to, because you only have 1 evil character out.
Yep, that's probably a good call, because he doesn't get the maximum value. Then probably good to save it, because it's only a once per game ability, but you can tell why it's pretty strong. So actually, instead of blocking with Ishbibinab, I think I'm going to block with my Selfish Kinsman here. So what he does is he negates enhancements, so it makes it so that the battle is pretty much determined by the numbers at this point. So
All right.
yep, you are a 9-6, so your 9 is beating my 7, because that's my toughness against your strength. And my 5 is also losing to your 6, so that means that you are outright winning the battle. So is it my initiative? Or would you like to play dominant?
Sure, we will play a dominant. We will play my Son of God.
Okay, so you can go ahead and rescue a lost soul if you would like.
All right. And the negate means that I negate the soul's effect, correct?
Correct, yep. So most of these lost souls have no effect, but this one actually would allow me to search my discard pile for a hero when it's rescued. So if you negate that and rescue it with your Son of God, then I would not get to search for a hero.
Yes, we will negate and rescue the Psalm 33, Lost Soul.
That sounds like a good plan, so I'll go ahead and put that lost soul in your lane of redemption. And just because he rescued a lost soul with his Son of God now does not affect the outcome of the battle. He can still rescue a lost soul normally in battle. So would you like to play any other dominance, or can I go ahead and play an enhancement?
Nope, I will pass to you.
Alright, so I'm going to play my bad dealings. Because of my selfish kinsman, the ability does not do anything, so I'm just playing it for numbers. So it's a 3-3. So I add them together, and 3 plus 5 is 8, and then 7 and 3 is 10. So I am an 8-10, which means that now my 10 is, or my big toughness is beating his 9 strength, and my 8 strength is beating his 6 toughness. So now it is your initiative.
All right. So we will play a when judges governed, and it is negated, but it does give me 3-4, so I will be at 12-10. Yes, 12-10.
All right, 12-10. So that's it's pretty big here. Let's see if I can do anything about that. So yep, like you said, the ability doesn't work, but the numbers are added on to his 9-6, and because his both his strength and his toughness are bigger than mine, and I don't have any more enhancements that would allow me to be having more toughness. Usually on defense you want to be tougher, and that allows what's called a stalemate. So if my toughness is bigger than his strength and his toughness is bigger than my strength, then it's called a stalemate, and that just is kind of like your characters are just pushing. So they would both return to territory, and he would not rescue a lost soul. But if it was the other case where his strength was bigger than my toughness and my strength was bigger or equal to, I should mention, if the strength is bigger than or equal to the toughness, then you are beating your opponent. So if we are both beating each other, then we would both be discarded. If we both pass or choose not to play any more enhancements, then we would both be discarded, and Joel would rescue the lost soul. The heroes are victorious in that sense, in that case. But in this case, it is neither of those. I am just losing outright, so my evil character will be discarded, and I will go ahead and give you a lost soul.
All right. So Jeff, will go back to my territory. This will be discarded, and I am at 10 cards in my hand. So we will. Let's see. We will discard a twice afflicted.
Okay.
And then we will discard a Sorrow of Mary.
Alrighty.
And I will be down to 8, so I will pass to you.
Sounds good. I will then draw 3, and well, just like that, Joel was down 2-0, and in one turn he was able to catch up and tie it up, and now I have 4 lost souls out, and he has none, which does not bode well for me. Um, but I do have my Gabriel still, and I don't have anything that I want to do in my preparation phase, so I'm just going to go ahead and make what's called a battle challenge. If your opponent doesn't have any lost souls for you to rescue, instead of making a rescue attempt, you can do what's called a battle challenge. So I can go out with my hero and still activate the hero's ability, so I can still search my discard pile for a silver enhancement. So looking at my discard pile here, I can search for a silver enhancement, and I think I'm going to get loaves and fishes. So this will go into my hand, and now Joel has the opportunity to block if he wants to. If he wants to like activate an ability on his evil character, or if he wants to try to get rid of my Gabriel somehow, he could block. But you can also decline if you don't want to block. You don't lose anything for declining as well. So
All
what would
right.
you like to
In this case, I think I will decline.
do? Okay, so Gabriel will just go back to my territory, making a successful battle challenge, but that doesn't actually give me any benefit. I don't rescue any lost souls for that. But it did allow me to get my loaves and fishes back, which I'm just going to go ahead and play now to make each player draw 1. So my goal here is to try to get Joel to maybe draw a lost soul or get closer to his lost souls, or draw something that allows me to put that in my hand, allows me to generate lost souls, which I actually did draw. So now in my discard phase, I can continue to play territory class enhancements, so I can go ahead and play my Fishers of Men on my John because it's purple, so it matches, which says reveal the top 3 cards of opponent's deck, or top 9 if used by a disciple, which as you can see at the little identifiers down here, John is a disciple, a prophet, and a son of Zebedee, which these can be helpful for different cards that refer to if used by such and such, or in this case it's if used by a disciple, which John is. Then I can put the revealed lost souls in opponent's territory and underdeck the rest. So I'm going to go over here to Joel's deck and reveal to all the top 9 cards. Oh boy. Oh, there's a couple lost souls right at the end there. I was a little worried, but I had to scroll over. So Fishers of Men puts the lost souls in opponent's territory. So that's for you, and that's for you. And then the rest of the cards go on the bottom of owner's deck. So I'm going to send these to the bottom. And then the ability has completed, so this goes to discard. We got to make sure I'm back to my zones. There we go, my discard pile. And so now I have already attacked this turn, so I'm past my battle phase, so I cannot try to rescue those lost souls this turn with my heroes, but I can, so I'll just have to wait until next turn. And for now, I'm going to get down to 8 cards by putting down my Legion of Angels, and then I'm going to go and pass the turn.
All right. So I will draw 3. All right. So no lost souls.
All right.
So I am able to play a equipment before battle, correct?
Yep. So if it matches the brigade, and you can has a little weapon or the shield icon, you can put it on a hero that also has a shield icon, or an evil character.
All right. So we'll see if this works. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I equip the Sword of Gideon to Jephthah, would that activate its ability?
So that will, you are not technically playing it yet, you are equipping it, but when Jephthah goes into the battle, then the Sword of Gideon will activate after Jephthah's ability is activated.
All right. And the evil enhancement has to be on the field currently.
Correct.
For it to. All right.
Yep.
Sounds good.
The default target for any ability like that is the field of play. So if there's an evil enhancement in play, which, as you can see, Ishbibnob's sword is, then you can choose to discard that.
All right. Sounds good.
Good for you,
So,
maybe.
so we are going to, let's see here. So we are going to attack with Naomi. And I do not control any Ruth heroes nor have any in my hand, so she will not band.
Okay, so Naomi comes in, her ability activates, may band to a Ruth hero, but Joel doesn't have any, so he's choosing not to band. And now I have to decide who I want to block with. So I guess I should point out, so Ishbibnob says discard a hero in battle with strength 10 or greater. And I should mention that the strength of the hero are only the numbers on the card. So the Sword of Gideon, it does have numbers on it that are added to Jephthah's numbers in battle. But if you had attacked with Jephthah, his strength would only still be 9. So Ishbibnob would not be able to target Jephthah.
All right, good to know.
Let's see. I guess I will try to block with Aiken. So Aiken is a 3/4, no special ability. So because Naomi is a 4/5, with a tie on the numbers here, your 4 is your strength, so you're beating my 4 toughness, and my 3 strength is losing to your 5 toughness. So it is my initiative, unless you would like to play a dominant.
Nope, I will pass initiative to you.
Alright, so I'm going to play Aiken's Sin, which says negate the last good card played this battle and discard all cards in battle. So that would negate Naomi, but because Joel didn't use the band, then it doesn't really matter if it's negated, but it's still the last good card played in battle. But then the discard all cards in battle, if I activate an effect like that, then that removes your hero and my evil character, then we would both be discarded and you would not get the lost soul in that case. But since I am removing your last character from battle, you have special initiative to try to negate this ability.
All right, well, I do not have anything to negate it, so everything will be discarded.
All right, so bye-bye Aiken, bye-bye Naomi, and that was a successful block, even though I had to sacrifice my evil character to do it.
All right, so we will play a controlling demon into my territory, and we'll also play a Quirinius, and then I will pass the turn to you.
Alrighty, got some evil characters now, huh?
Yep.
Alright, so I draw 3 to start my turn, and I'll go to my preparation phase. I do not have anything to play, so I have to decide what hero I want to go out with if I want to make a rescue attempt here, because now he does have lost souls for me to rescue. So I am going to go ahead and try to rescue with my John. So he says negate evil characters, so his ability activates now that he's in battle, which means that the abilities on your evil characters do not work. So Quirinius, you would not get to draw 1 or band, and Controlling Demon would not get to reveal.
All right. So we will block with the Controlling Demon.
Alright, so now is going to be a case where I talked about earlier, where we're going to be in a stalemate, because you can see that my toughness is 5, so the Controlling Demon's strength is only 4, so Joel's not beating me, but I have 5 strength and his toughness is 11, which is pretty huge, and so I am not beating him either. So we are in what's called a stalemate, and the way that you determine who has initiative in a stalemate is based on whoever played the last card in battle. So in most cases, like this one, it's going to be the hero who has initiative, because the hero came in and then you presented your evil character in battle, which means that now I have the first chance to play something. Unless I guess the exception here being if you would like to play a dominant, you could do so now.
I am not going to play a dominant, so I'll pass to you.
All right, so I am going to play Authority of Peter. So because it's purple, I can play it on my purple hero. And it says remove an evil character from the game and top deck a hero from your discard pile. So before I get to top deck, I'm targeting Controlling Demon for trying to remove him from the game. But since he is in battle, then Joel gets what's called Special Initiative, as we talked about in the previous battle, to try to negate my Authority of Peter. So,
All right. Well, I do not have any negate cards, so I will remove Controlling Demon from the game.
All right, so he will be removed, and removal is it's actually banish now is the key word for that, and kind of update or banish means remove from the game. So an updated card would read banish an evil character, but this is kind of the old text or the old language for it, and basically that just means that it's I guess like it says, removed from the game. So there's going to be no way for Joel to interact or me to interact with that card for the rest of the game. So it's a little more severe than discarding, because cards like this interact with the discard pile. I can top deck a hero from my discard pile. So let's go ahead and look in there. And there are no heroes in here. I haven't lost any heroes yet. So, but if I had lost one, then I could put it from my discard pile back on top of my deck. Alright, and so now that I successfully removed his evil character, the only thing that he can still do is play a dominant, but otherwise he would have to give up the Lost Soul, and the dominant would have to be able to remove my hero from the battle.
Alright, well, I don't have any dominants to play, so I will send you a Lost Soul.
Alright, sounds good. And then the enhancement I played is discarded. John returns to my territory, and I am at 8 cards. And I have to decide if I want to put anything else down. I have some more of these weapons here, but I don't think I want to equip any of them. I should mention your warrior can only have one equipped weapon at a time. So the way that you would actually, I guess there's no actual way to unequip a weapon now, at least not by game rule. So if you are in battle, I guess at the end of the battle you could, I'm actually not entirely sure what the rules are for that now. Don't have to worry about getting too many weapons on your characters, but just remember that you can only keep one on there. So at any time, only one weapon can be equipped to your warrior.
And I assume if you play another weapon, you can choose which one to keep on it?
That's what I wasn't actually sure about. The rules with equip or equipping weapons has kind of changed a little bit lately, so that it's more consistent. So like if your weapons are actually still equipped while they're in battle, and they used to not be. So like if you have multiple heroes in battle and one of them is equipped, if you discard the equipped hero, then the equipment or the weapon class enhancement would follow. And it used to not be that case, that the enhancement would also be discarded, but maybe I can double check that and put the answer in the description of the video so you can check it out there for the viewers.
All right, sounds good.
And with that, I will go ahead and pass to you, Joel.
All right, so I will draw, and no Lost Souls.
All right.
So we are going to, let's see. Let's attack with Jephthah.
All right. So first, before the weapon, you get to choose to activate Jephthah's ability if you would like to.
I am going to pass on that.
All right, and then the weapon, because it actually does not say you may, you have to discard an evil enhancement if there is a valid target.
All right, so I will discard Ishbibinab's sword.
Yep, that makes sense. Alright, since that was your only target, he had to discard that one, but yeah, since it was mine, it works out pretty well for him. So I am going to block with Saf. And he says is prevent the next enhancement played by an opponent. So prevent is kind of like negate, except it only works before the card is played. So by preventing the next enhancement played by an opponent, that means that the next enhancement that you play, Joel, is not going to work, or the ability is not going to work.
All right, but I still get the stat boost,
Yep.
correct?
Yep, it still stays in battle, and the numbers are still in effect. So I am a 9-11 evil character, and you have 9-6 and 3-2, which puts you at 12-8. So I guess this is kind of the other situation that numbers can put you in here. So he's got 12 strength, so he is beating my 11 toughness, but I have 9 strength, so I am beating your 8 toughness. So similar to stalemate, this means that because I played the last card in battle, Joel has the first opportunity to play an enhancement.
All right. We will play a Samson's Strength, and it will be prevented, so it will just boost me up 6 power.
All right. Yep. So because you or Samson's Strength just says negate and discard the last evil enhancement played this battle, which is probably a good one for him to toss or to play right now because I'm preventing the next enhancement. So this one didn't really do anything for him before, so it's kind of a placeholder, but it does give him pretty big numbers. His strength goes up to 18, which is still beating my 11, obviously. So now it is mutual destruction, and he played the last card, so it is my initiative to play. So I am going to play Lami's Spear. So at the end of battle, the way that playing weapons in battle works is that you can equip them as your character leaves the battle. But with this one, it actually discards itself to discard a hero. So what I'm going to do is discard my Lami's Spear to try to discard Jephthah. And because it's your last hero, you get special initiative.
All right, so I can play either a negate or a dominant.
So only a negate would work in this case, because the dominant does not stop the card that's removing you.
All right.
So I guess something like Samson's Strength, if you have another ability like that, would be what you need to stop my Lami's Spear.
Yes. I do not have any more negates, so I will be negated.
All right. Well, Saf's ability come in clutch there, Sapin. You're getting to throw away your negate. So I have to discard my Lami's Spear, and discarding it discards Jephthah, and the enhancements follow. Now you could play a dominant if you wanted to, but there's not really any reason to, because since your hero is out of battle, you cannot win the battle.
Yes. So yeah, that will end combat for me.
Alright, so Saf returns, and now you are in your discard phase.
Alright, so we will, let's see. We will play an Angel of the Lord, and we will discard, let's discard Ishbibinab.
Alright, taking out my guy that takes out your big heroes, huh?
Yep.
Alright, so like you saw here, he decided to play his Angel of the Lord after the battle to just hit one of my pesky evil characters in my territory. And just like any other card, the default targeting is in play, so he can do in my territory, he could do in battle, and whichever one kind of fits the purposes you want at the time. And right now, I think I might have just been trying to get down to 8 cards.
Yeah, a little bit. So we will play a Shamgar into my territory, and then I will pass the turn.
Alright, so you got down to 8, so now I draw 3. I got another lost soul, which I guess, yeah, it's the last lost soul from my deck. So you've already rescued 2, and I've got 5.
Yep, and would now be a good time to ask if I could have dominant initiative.
Yep, so if you wanted to play a dominant, you could do that now.
All right, I'm going to play Vain Philosophy to look at your hand and underdeck a good card.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yep, so what I could have done, since it was my turn, if I had looked at his hand before and I knew that he had Vain Philosophy in his hand, I could be like, ooh, maybe I should play my Son of God before he plays Vain Philosophy, but unfortunately I did not see that he had it, and so he's going to get to look at my hand, and either taking out my Son of God would be a good card to hit here, but also one of my battle winners or one of my negates. It's a really good time, a very strategic time for you to play it, so that you know the best way to block what I have.
Yes. So let's see.
People aren't going to believe that you're a beginner making moves like that.
I mostly just played because you just drew, and that way I'd have the access to the most cards.
Right. Yeah, makes sense.
All right. Let's see. So I think we will just discard your Son of God.
Okay. So or it goes under my deck, not discarded.
Or yes, under deck.
That would be a little bit too powerful, but
yes.
So we're gonna send the Son of God to the bottom of my deck, and it's pretty brutal. That means that I'm gonna have to work a little bit harder to try to get to 5 here. So I will conceal my hand from Joel, and now I have to figure out how I'm going to attack, knowing that he knows what I have. Let's see. Here's a little score update. I'm currently at 3, and Joel is currently at 2, so I need 2 more to win. So I've been able to, if I had been able to rescue one at battle, then I could have used Son of God to get to 5, but now I might have to get both of them in battle if I want a chance to win here, because Son of God is 16 cards away now. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a rescue attempt with my Gabriel. So I get to search my discard pile for a silver enhancement. Go all the way back here. I think I'm going to search for my angelic guidance.
All right.
And that goes into my hand and is your block.
All right. So we will block with Quirinius.
All right. So Quirinius is coming into battle. Joel can draw 1 and ban to a generic Roman.
All right. So draw 1, and you do not have any Romans to ban to.
All right. So I guess the way that banding works, I don't know if we've really covered this, but if he did have a generic Roman evil character, he could band him into battle, and basically I would have to fight both of them, which just makes it, he's got bigger numbers, and there's just more evil characters for me to try to deal with if I want to win. But he is not banding, so we just go to initiative. I have a 10-10, he is an 8-5, so that means it is your initiative, Joel.
All right. Well, we will try to draw out some of those negates. We'll play Hypocrite's Proselyte and try to underdeck your Gabriel.
All right. So since he's removing my last character, I get special initiative. So I'm going to play Walking on Water, which is purple and silver, so I can play it on my silver Gabriel. And it says negate and discard the last evil enhancement played in battle. So I'm going to stop you from underdecking my hero by negating Hypocrite's Proselyte and discarding it.
All right. So that will happen.
Yep. And then we go back to regular initiative. So now I add the numbers of my Walking on Water to Gabriel, which puts me at 12-13, and is back to your initiative, Joel.
All right. We will play a Colosseum Lions to try to discard all heroes in battle.
Ooh, all right. That's a pretty good one. So now I have the opportunity, or I have special initiative once again because he's removing my last character from battle. But I do not have any more negates, so Gabriel is going to be discarded, unfortunately. And that will end the battle.
All right.
But now what I'm going to do at the end of my turn here, in my discard phase, I'm going to play my Angelic Guidance. So I'm going to look at your hand, Joel.
All right.
And I can kind of play it defensively this time. I want to see what he has for offense, and just kind of get an idea of how I can best block. So he's got one battle winner for the hero that he has out, Shamgar, but he also might draw some white heroes that he can use for to play these enhancements, and then he's also got the multicolor ones, which can go on either. So definitely has some options here depending on what he draws. But the main point of, I guess, getting back my Angelic Guidance and wanting to play it is now I get to search my deck for a silver card. And because that shuffles my deck, I want to get the Son of God off of the bottom of my deck and hopefully get it somewhere closer to the top so I can draw it sooner. But I am going to search for this silver card, which would be Gathering Angel. That ability says search each discard pile for a hero and top deck them. So in my, or if I were to attack with that hero, I could search my discard pile and search Joel's discard pile for a hero and put them on top of each of our decks, which can be helpful to get back my Gabriel. Alright, and that will end my turn, so I'll go ahead and pass to you, Joel.
All right. So we'll draw my 3 cards, and still no lost souls.
Oh boy.
So we will. Let's see. We will attack with Shamgar.
Shamgar, so he's a 6/6, so I have to try to block here. I don't have too many options, so I'm going to go ahead and try out my staff again. So again, he prevents the next evil, or the next enhancement played by an opponent, and that just goes for this battle. So let's say that you didn't play any enhancements that wouldn't carry over into, you know, the battle on my turn or anything.
All right. And since my power and toughness are both smaller than yours, I would have initiative.
Yep, that is correct.
All right. So I will play Gideon's Call, which is negated.
All right.
Preemptively.
Good job. Yeah, that'll work. Well, not work, but it's a good one to burn to my Saf because I already have all my Lost Souls out, and that's the one that, in his deck that allows him to fish some Lost Souls out of my deck. So he's just playing it for the numbers, and now he is at 9/8, and so it is still your initiative.
All right. So since it will not be negated, now we will play Trumpets and Torches to try to underdeck Saf.
Yep, that's kind of what I suspected. So now, because he's removing my last evil character, I get special initiative, but I do not have a negate, so Saf will be underdecked. Send to bottom of deck. So now, I do have the opportunity to still play a dominant before giving him the Lost Soul, so I will ask for dominant initiative.
All right, you may have it.
All right, and I will go ahead and play Christian Martyr to discard your Shamgar. So, because I'm taking out his hero in battle, even though he are out of my evil character, I can still prevent him from rescuing the Lost Soul by discarding his hero.
All right. So I am at 7 cards in my hand, so I will pass the turn.
Alrighty, so I get to draw 3, and it's a pretty good draw there. So let's see, I have to decide if there's anything I want to go ahead and attack with. That one would be nice if I was able to play it right now, but unfortunately I can't. But I think, because I do kind of want to get my Gabriel back, so I could go in with my Gathering Angel that I searched for. Go ahead and put him down at least. I think my better play is actually to, I'm going to make a rescue attempt with James. And as you can see, he is also a disciple and a son of Zebedee, so he is John's brother. And so he can band to John. So John will also come into battle and allows me to negate evil characters again. So 13, 11 total numbers coming at you, Joel.
All right. So I will block with Foul Spirit, who negates heroes.
Alright, so yeah, this is kind of an interesting interaction because I've got to negate evil characters and he's got to negate heroes. So the way that this works is that because John's ability was activated first, it kind of works like Saf's prevent. So he's preventing evil characters' abilities from activating, even ones like Foul Spirit that try to negate heroes. So hero abilities still work because Foul Spirit is negated, but you do still now have initiative to play in battle.
All right. So I will play a Fiery Darts. And do I get to choose which hero to discard?
Yep, so you get to target any hero in play, but obviously you'd probably prefer to take out the heroes in battle.
Yes. So I think we will... Let's take out John.
Alright, John is no longer, and because I still have a hero in battle that actually does not give me special initiative, so I don't get to negate it right away if I have a negate here. So now we go back to determining initiative by the numbers. So Joel's got a 6-7 with a 2-2 enhancement, so 8-9. I am an 8-6, so my 8 is losing to his 9, and his 8 is beating my 6. So now it is my initiative, unless you would like to play a dominant, Joel.
I would not.
Alright, so I will use my regular initiative to play Wonderment, which allows me to negate and discard the last evil enhancement played in battle. So even though I wasn't able to play it in special initiative, I still had regular initiative and can target Fiery Darts to be negated and discarded. So that will bring back my John.
So let's see. So can I play a dominant now?
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to play Christian Martyr.
All right.
And this time, let's see. This time we will discard. Let's discard John again.
All right. So John is being discarded because there is still a purple hero in battle. The enhancement stays in battle. So even if, since I originally played it on James, if you had discarded James, Wonderment would still stay in battle with John. So the numbers are still in here. So then we go back to determining the initiative, and James plus Wonderment puts me at 12-9, so it is still your initiative.
All right, well, I am going to pass.
All right, and since you're losing the battle, then passing would result in you being discarded.
Yep.
All right.
And then you may have the Lost Soul.
Cool. So I guess one, I guess a little bit of a strategy and just kind of like a way that things work. If you, so if you had, after you had used your Fiery Darts to kill my John, then since I didn't have special initiative there, you could have played your dominant there, and that would have completely stopped my rescue, but I did get kind of lucky having that negate there. Otherwise, that would have been a good block.
I see. Yes, I probably should have done that.
Well, I know. But either way, you were still able to get rid of John, which is pretty good for. He's a nice hero. I'm gonna go ahead and put down my angel at Bethesda, and that puts me at 6, which is less than 8. So I will pass to you, Joel.
All right, so I will draw. And wow, still no lost souls.
Oh boy.
Let's see here. So we are going to make a rescue attempt with Samson.
All right, so going straight into battle here. He's going out with Samson, who, very strong, as you can see from the picture. And if you're familiar with the Bible story, he's got 12 strength and 6 toughness here. And I do not have an evil character to block with, so I'm going to have to go ahead and give it to you.
All right, sounds good.
Samson coming in for a good old freebie.
Yeah, I got lucky. I drew him. All right, and I am going to be at 6 in my hand, so I will pass to you.
All right, so I will draw 3. And let's see, drew a couple more heroes, and I think I might go ahead and use to try out a battle challenge here. I could try to use my Gathering Angel for a battle challenge and get the benefit of getting my Gabriel back, but also I would have to search Joel's discard pile and put a hero on top of his deck, and since I want him to draw a Lost Soul, that probably isn't a good idea for me right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a battle challenge with Andrew. He says my ban to Peter, and I will ban to Peter from my hand here. Another set of disciples and also brothers. And Peter says he may draw 1, and he negates demons. So demons in this case are basically just all of Joel's orange evil characters. So he's kind of like John, but he only hits half of your defense instead of all of the evil characters.
All right, well, I will let that go through.
Are you sure you don't want to block with Corinius and draw 1?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna save.
All right. So the heroes go back to territory, and I will go ahead and pass to you, Joel.
All right, so I will draw, and still none.
Oh no.
Sorry, Jaden. They must all be at the bottom of my deck. So we will.
Well, you better play something to shuffle your deck then, huh?
Yeah. So let's we will make a battle or a rescue attempt with Boaz.
All right. And then you.
So I will draw 1.
All right. Since it is a May, you don't have to, but.
Yes. So I did.
Yep.
Because I wanted to. And I do not have any Ruth characters, so I will not be able to ban.
All right. So I'm going to block with my Shafat to draw an evil character, which is good. And he allows me to look at opponent's hands. So I'm going to go ahead and take a peek here. Make sure you're not hiding any lost souls in here. No. And we'll see what
Make sure I'm not cheating.
Yeah, I'm sure that'd be pretty good for my tutorial video, right?
Yeah.
All right, so you've got a few search enhancements here, and just to remind you, I guess you can use these in your preparation phase since they have that little oasis icon. So the Ruth meets Boaz and the Gleaning the Fields, you could play those before you attack. If you wanted to, go find some more resources, like you could have gotten a Ruth hero with Ruth meets Boaz or something like that. But looks like you've also got Family Bond here, which is a negate. It's pretty good. So I will conceal your hand, and we'll go to the numbers here. So I'm a 3/2, so I'm pretty small. And I don't believe you had any dominance to play. This is my initiative.
Yep.
All right, so I think I am going to. Hmm. Yeah, I think since I saw what you had, I'm going to go ahead and actually just play Ashtaroth Worship. And I can discard a good enhancement or remove from the game all cards in a discard pile. So I'm going to banish your discard pile from the game.
All right.
So this is where the removed tab is for anyone using Lackey. You can just drag cards into there. Let's see. I guess the easiest way is probably just to drag everything in there like that. So all of these cards get removed, which is kind of nice for my Gathering Angel because then I don't have to worry about top decking a hero from Joel's discard pile. So now I'm a 3/8, so that will make it stalemate. And since I played last, is your initiative.
All right. So if I play the Family Bond, can I negate your Ashtaroth Worship to get my discard back?
Yep, you could do that if you like. You could
All
also
right.
just play one of your other ones to search for something else if you wanted to save Family Bond for something that was removing your Boaz or something. Since you're, it kind of I guess depends on if you think you're going to need some of the stuff from your discard pile. Most of the cards that you have kind of go for like Ruth cards, kind of like your Ruth meets Boaz, and your I guess when Judges Governed also gets Judges cards, their enhancements.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, trying to save my discard pile so I could fish some of those out.
Yep, makes sense.
So yeah, I will play this and negate Ashtaroth Worship.
Alright, so this is negated and discarded. And then we go back to numbers, and you are an 8/7, and I'm a 3/2. So.
Yep. And I believe everything except for Foul Spirit goes back into my discard, correct?
Yep. Yeah, I guess.
Alright, I can move that.
Alright, sounds good. Yep, Foul Spirit, he was banished by authority of Peter earlier. But everything else was banished with Ashtaroth Worship. And then, I guess since it is my initiative in the battle, I will go ahead and play Sin in the Camp to withdraw all heroes. So I'm going to withdraw Boaz, which it's a keyword that probably haven't, I don't think we've encountered yet, but withdraw just kicks them back to territory. So you would need to have another enhancement like Family Bond or something to negate that, because that gives you special initiative.
All right. Well, I do not have any negates, so I will be withdrawn.
Alrighty. And Shafat will also go back, and that will be discarded.
All right. And then I am down to 8, so I will pass turn.
Alright, so I will draw 3. And let's see. Well, since you don't have any lost souls, I will just try to do another battle challenge with Andrew and Peter and draw 1. Just kind of keep getting my defense here so I can hold off, or hold you off.
All right. So I think I will block with Quirinius,
Okay.
and he will band 2 pilot soldiers from my hand, another Roman generic.
Nice. Okay, so I guess I didn't really say what generic and meant. Basically, it's just like there are generic characters and there are unique characters. So something like pilot soldiers is just kind of refers to a generic group of people. So it's going to be a generic evil character or a generic character. The same goes for my Legion of Angels and my Angel at Bethesda, just because they were likely multiples of them, or it refers to kind of a group. I guess same with my Gathering Angel as well. But characters like James and Peter and Andrew, these are all unique characters because they refer to a specific person in the Bible, or kind of a specific group. So there's also the Sanhedrin is a character that is unique because it refers to a specific group.
Yes, and I suppose I probably should have drawn before banding, but I will draw now.
Yep.
And here is your last lost soul.
Oh, all right. Well, so now I can try to rescue that lost soul because it was a battle challenge, but now a lost soul is available. It turns into a rescue attempt. So if I'm able to defeat his evil characters here, then I can rescue that lost soul. So fortunately, I actually don't have to wait or to try to win the battle because I did draw back my Son of God after I shuffled it from the bottom, and I can go ahead and rescue that lost soul now.
All right, sounds good.
I will do that, and that puts me at 5, which means that I win the game, and that's where it ends. And yeah, so got up to 3. That's pretty good for starting out, not knowing kind of all of the little strategies and ways to get more cards and stuff, not being quite as familiar with the decks. But
yeah, good game.
Yeah, are there any other I guess you kind of asked questions as they came up, but was there anything else that you maybe thought about with like the cards in your hand that you wanted to ask before we call it quits here?
I don't think so. I think I basically asked all my questions as they came up.
All right, sweet. Well, thank you so much for playing the game with me here, and hopefully it's been helpful for you viewers as well. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. You can also ask them on the Cactus forums, which are the kind of the message boards for Redemption. If you're unaware with those, there will be a link to that website in the description as well, and that's really helpful for getting to know people, knowing about tournaments and that kind of stuff, and asking questions, which starting off, there's definitely a lot of questions that will come up as you look at different cards, but there's pretty much always someone there who can help you out with those, and lots of great people willing to do that. So yeah, I guess that's where we'll leave it for today. Thank you so much, Joel.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
My pleasure. All right, I will catch you guys later.